What's that?
How are you? Did Joss sleep for a second?
Real quiet.
Oh, hold on.
Turn my space heater off.
Is that better?
Yes. Wow.
Okay.
That was way
Sorry.
better. What's up? Have we ever actually talked to each other?
I don't think we have.
Well, hi.
Well, hi.
Hi. Hi. How's things? Where are you at? Are you in Vegas with them?
No, I mean I was raised in Vegas, but I don't live there anymore. I live in
Gotcha.
Merida in Mexico.
Oh, you do?
I
Oh,
do.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Not living in the US is like a great idea right now. So,
It right? Never felt any luckier.
yeah.
What
Oh
happened?
man.
I missed it.
I just asked if she was in Vegas with most of the others, and she told me I didn't know this that she lived in Mexico.
Yes, she is in Mexico.
So I
Mexico.
told her that not living in the US ain't so bad these days.
Oh, geez. Yeah, yeah.
But I'm sure every country's got their own issues. I was just looking, Joss. Did you tag me in something?
Sure, I sure did. Hey, am I centered? Because I can't see myself. Am I like centered in the, or is there like my head cut off or what's happening?
Well, your
Is
mic
it
is
like in
Right
my
in front of your
face?
forehead. Yeah.
yeah. If you could take the mic up a little higher, you'd be good.
Like that?
Uh,
Uh,
and then maybe like the very top of your head is cut off. So like if you want to raise your camera, or there you go,
oh,
and then raise your mic some more because you could see the mic now.
well, that's okay. I can see yours too.
Unless
No,
you
I
don't
can't.
care about that.
I don't know. As long as you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I
so
was trying to find what you linked me in, but I can't. No, it's not here.
it
Was it?
is the season 6 trailer that I created. I wrote and created and I did it in Canva after Jane shared with us how to add audio to different things
Ah,
in Canva, which I knew how to do before, but like she showed me a couple tips and tricks and stuff like that. So
ah.
by the way, I'm really sad because my teenager went out and that's why I left because like I wanted to go give him a hug. I always want him to like I want to give him a hug before he leaves, because I don't want
Oh.
him to leave without me saying goodbye to him. And he's moving out probably in August of this
What?
year. Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Oh man.
So I'm kind of like, are you kidding me right now? So yeah. I was gonna also mention, Gabby, I love your tapestry behind you.
Oh, thank you.
And I don't and Ken, we always love your view of your lovely of
Yes.
your beautiful
Your
studio.
studio is amazing.
My lights broke. My star lights broke.
Oh
My
no.
strand of lights I always,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I'm so
Gotta get
sad.
some new ones.
I got to get some new ones, but yeah. So anyways, and by the way, I just have to showcase this really quickly.
Is that
I'm
Jason Momoa?
It's so is Jason Momoa.
Congratulations. I'm here, but I have a weird camera situation I'm trying to figure out.
No, you're good. We don't mind weird camera situations. Take your time. So anyways, Gabby sent that to me along with Frankie. They sent that to me as I was yeah, around my birthday, so I thought that was
yeah.
pretty funny.
Is that like one of those like sequin things? Like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
like wipe it and it lets. Oh,
I can wipe his face.
if you're sick of looking at him, just wipe them out.
I mean, wait a second. Who's sick of Jason Momoa? Not
Oh, I
me.
guess yeah. I don't know.
Not me, not me. So I'm glad you guys are here. I was gonna say I did a little updating on my website. I just want to talk a little chaos and like what you guys have going on right now, before our guest comes on. But I updated I updated my chaos. I updated my chaos. Just everybody, just so we're all clear. I updated my website and put a new picture up on my homepage. My husband's like, I don't like this picture anymore. So I was like, well, if he doesn't like it, but I don't really want to go get new pictures just yet. So like lifestyle pictures. And so I unearthed a picture that maybe didn't make it the first round and or had been a part of my website at some point, but then like I had updated a couple different sections so that it didn't make it into the next update. And so I'm using that. So that's pretty exciting. And then I updated my client list too, so that's always fun, you know. So yeah, I was pretty happy about that. And
That's really cool.
yes. Yeah, I have other random chaos, so you guys can stop me at any point. Does anybody have any like updates on like chaos for work or oh, Gabby, I love that you
Oh my God.
contact me about rates, but I hate rates. I can do
Too.
rates for you, but I can't do my own rates.
I can't do my own rates either. I mean, I did it and I was like, I don't know if this is correct. Is this too much? And then that's when I contacted you.
It
And you
always
were,
feels too much.
it always feels too much.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's not. Anybody
No.
else feel that way when you guys are given rates or quotes or for people?
Yep. Yep. Every time.
S-
Every time. But
Every time.
So it's normal to feel like,
yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I had a weird experience recently because it was brought to my attention through one of the platforms, and it was an industry professional that runs the platform that we should start charging for, like crack the mic fees on top of whatever we're doing, and I think she had mentioned like $150 is like a crack the mic fee that we need to be paid for, our studio time. I haven't really implemented that much, but I did try to like add it into the mix for an audiobook that I just got booked on. And
Nice.
I came in like after the fact, I thought about it after the fact, so I wasn't really too confident that it was going to work. And then the author actually passed me off to the producer because I went to the author instead of the producer, which I find that should have been the right sequence of like that should have been the person I was talking to. Anyhow, they were like not into it. So I was like, okay, never mind. But I was happy that I at least tried to ask for it, And they came at me with like a much lower per finished hour. And
Mm.
I said, well, I actually am, a 150 to 200. I know some people are charging 250 per finished hour now, and that's just not where I'm at. So I was like, and they were like, oh yeah, 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 no, that's okay. That we'll do that. So I was like, yay, me, I negotiated. Woohoo! Look at me go.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
and along with that little chaos, hey Jane. It's a big group today, so I'm so happy everybody's here.
Yeah.
Along with that little bit of chaos, it was interesting because I had gotten an email talking about my website. I'd gotten an email from my website, and I'm always on alert for scams. Like it's sad that our brains go right to that place as like actors and voice actors because nobody wants to get scammed. We've all been sort of like we've all- we're not like we've all had it happen to us or whatever. Know someone that's had it happen to us. And so this person emailed me and I was like, this is probably a scam. And it wasn't. And I finally asked, I said, how did you find me? And they found me through like a group of people that I am not a part of for me. I'm a part of it for my son. And then they said, well, that's okay. You can still audition for this particular project. I'm sorry, I'm being cryptic. It was for my son is disabled, so and so he's too young to be a part of the group. And I said, well, I can't audition. And they're like, no, we would. You're an advocate and a caregiver of someone who's disabled, so we would like you to audition. So I said, okay, I'll audition. And then they hired me and they booked me. So I'm really happy with that. So it's one of those.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's
I'm a
awesome.
I'm a
Congratulations.
thank you. But again, it's like, it's good to be cautious, right?
Yes.
It's good to also not be scared to ask, right, for money and when, in like a quote
Yeah.
and feel like it's too much.
I mean, the worst thing they can say is
Awkward.
no. Yeah.
I didn't
That
realize
is
I was
a
muted.
oh,
I didn't realize I was muted when you were asking if people feel like it's too much. But to answer the question, yes, and simultaneously wishing that you got more is always prevalent.
I know. I know. You're always the voice of reason. It's just hard, What were you gonna say, Ken?
I was just saying that story that you told about asking for that extra studio fee or crack the mic fee is pretty reassuring because and that you asked and it sounds like they didn't play ball and they didn't seem like
Mm.
my biggest fear at that point would be like they just dump me, right? They just be like, we'll find somebody else. And
Right.
that's a big fear there. And that's reassuring to hear that while they didn't play ball with you, they didn't like cut you
But
loose for having the gall to ask for what you're worth either. Um, because I'm dealing with something later in the year. I have a fairly large project that fell in my lap for
Ooh.
a local thing.
Mm.
I have a family friend that's a photographer, and a video project landed in her lap, and she recommended me for the voiceover side of it. It's for an ice skating exhibition. It's kind of a local thing, but it's online, and they're taking applications from all over the world, and it's turning into this
Oh.
kind of a big thing that we haven't started talking money yet. And I'm like looking at some of the rates for this stuff, like it's a live announce. They want me to live announce
Wow.
and do on camera stuff for it. And then after the fact, they want to package this whole thing as a viewable online thing that I would provide some voiceover for as well. So it's this whole thing that I'm going to have to piece out. And even looking at the low end of a lot of this stuff, I'm like, man, like you said, it always feels like too much. Um, and I want to work with the guy. I don't know what his budget is yet, but it's reassuring to hear that, hey, just because you throw out a number doesn't mean it's that number or nothing. And like the
Hmm.
whole deal will fall apart. Because I truly do want to be involved and I want to help with it, but I don't want to shortchange myself either.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that makes sense. I think that's our
Yeah.
biggest, everybody's fear. You don't want to shortchange yourself, but you also don't want to lose the client.
Yeah.
And then you
Mm.
want to work with them in future projects and want them to hire you. I'm never afraid to like I know some people are afraid to take too low of money, but sometimes, like I've worked with clients where I'm like, I know there's like a future to, you
Mhm.
know. I think the other part of my ask was, hey, I normally charge like a crack the mic fee, but I'm going to waive that. And because we're going off platform, this is the other part of it. I said, because we're going off platform, could you please pay me my first per finished paid hour, like um, before the 15-minute check-in? Because they want like a 15-minute check-in. So that way, at
Mm.
least I get paid. So if they do dump me after 15 minutes, at least I got paid 1 hour.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so but because the producer came back and was like, not gonna play ball, like you said, I won't go into details. I just didn't press it. I wasn't gonna re-explain myself. I just left it. But I mean, you're right. You should be able to ask, right? You should be able
Mhm.
to ask. And the other thing I was gonna ask you, piggybacking off of that, like I've had experiences where I've gone to industry professionals that I've paid to work with, friends with, socialize with or whatever in person and virtually and take free and paid classes with. And most, I think, are always available to answer your questions when you're in this kind of situation. But I will say that there has been a couple times where there was a particular person that just kind of like blew me off and never even answered my question. And that was really frustrating and disheartening, I'd have to say, because I feel like we all need to help each other out, paid or unpaid.
Mhm.
Friends are not
Yeah.
friends. Acquaintances, because there's certain people that are further along in their careers, maybe not an industry professional, and they can help you, or I don't know. It was just disheartening, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to call anybody out. I'm not going to call anybody out, but it was like, and no, Lloyd, I'm not going to. But
I look. I can speculate, but also, I mean, did they blow you off in the sense that like they saw what you were
mm-hmm,
asking and they just didn't answer at all? Like
mm-hmm.
you messaged them on social media and they left you on red, and maybe they just forgot about it.
I don't know. They had, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't have an idea in mind of who it was. I just know that communication is weird, and
Yeah,
that's something
communication
that
is
keeps
weird.
coming up in my life over the past couple of
Oh,
weeks or so. So I'm just like, maybe that wasn't the intent.
yeah, give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. I think part of it was I immediately go to like, what did I say wrong? Like, did I annoy them? Did I maybe like push too much? Maybe they had answered a couple questions ahead of that one question, and maybe it was one question too much. But then
Mm.
again, we don't need to go into a therapy session for me at this point in time, but that might just be a me thing, like
I'm
I
my
not
think it's
the
something
same
that
thing.
everybody kind of
my
deals with.
trauma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I think it's fairly common.
general. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm Jane. I'm so happy that you're here too. I didn't get a chance to say hi to
Hey,
you. Just
Jane,
Hey,
hi.
friends.
Hi,
Hi, Jane.
Jay.
Hi.
it's
Good to
like a
see you all.
party. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
It's such a party. I love it. I'm so happy that you guys are all here. I have to say too that I recently turned down two gigs as well. One on a platform and which was like a direct booking, no audition. Have you guys ever been in that situation? And it wasn't a private audition either. And then a new client came to me. I did like a new, I can't remember what it was called, but I did something for them and they paid me. And then they came back to ask me to do something else. And I was like, yeah, I'm not really trained for this. And it was like a really low ball offer. And it was more like performance caption. I think I talked about this in our WhatsApp stuff. And I had to turn that down. And it was pretty empowering. Not that I wanted to say no, but like I have a hard time saying no. Like I don't know. And so I was
Now you have experience.
once you get one no underneath your belt,
Then he starts slanging them.
but
And you're like, it is okay to say no. I get
right?
that.
Yeah.
Good for you, Joz.
I know, right? It hurt a little bit, like it was like because I don't want to turn away money, and I'm not, but at some point you do have to set some boundaries, right? Like boundaries is a real thing. Does anybody like
Yeah.
want to piggyback
Yeah.
off of that?
Absolutely.
Does anybody
I
have any
mean,
personal experience?
I mean, this is like a while back. A long time ago, I did like the audio book that I made a big deal about not wanting to learn about quantum physics and all that stuff, and have it. And they wanted some revisions done. I won't get into the revisions or even the book it was, but they wanted revisions. I was like, yeah, absolutely. If you pay me this much, and they just never responded, like ever
They
again.
ghosted you.
They paid me my original per finished hour, so I was good, and I was like, all right,
See, if they can say no,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
we could say no.
We had like good, like the email thread before asking for revisions was great, and conversation flowed really well, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah. Communication is key, I think. I mean, I
yeah.
think obviously less is more. Like you don't want to send like chapters of, you don't want to like send someone like a whole paragraphs of stuff. But I feel like, setting boundaries, asking for what you need or what you want for your business, and then also like communication is like key. I hate being ghosted. If that particular industry professional didn't want to answer my question, it would have been nice if they would have been able to say like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to help you at this time, or like, but I'm going to be nice and just think that maybe they just didn't see it.
Send it and
I've-
forget it.
I've
I'm
done
gonna
stuff like
pretend.
that unintentionally,
Mhm.
where you see something and I've had these thoughts, especially earlier on in my first couple years, where you're a newbie, you're thirsty for knowledge, you're asking people stuff, and when you send some of these messages or these inquiries or whatever, to you, that is a major thing that's going on in your life right now. You're like, oh, I emailed this person and asked for this advice and they haven't answered me yet, and I'm checking every day. But to them, like, not to, you know, make light of somebody asking you for help, but that's a very small section of what they're
Sure.
dealing with.
Yeah.
So they may see your inquiry and they say, "Oh, I know, I remember her. I'll answer that later." And then
Totally.
it just never pops back into their head. And maybe it does down the road, and they're like, "Oh, it's been 3 weeks. Do
You
I
know,
answer?" Or I've been there before. I've done that unintentionally before, for sure.
Yeah. I
yeah.
get that.
I literally,
Yeah.
literally, I just left brunch with a guy that I met in September of 2023. He sent me a message July 20th, and
You
I
just had
didn't
brunch.
respond. I didn't respond. I completely forgot about it, and then I ran into him at some improv stuff
Oh,
a couple
boy.
of weeks ago, and we talked. But like, I completely forgot that he messaged me. I forgot to respond, and he messaged me almost
Oh
2
my
years
God,
ago.
that's so funny.
So,
Wow.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I'll come
happens.
back to that,
Yeah.
and then a
But
car
you're all still
accident happens in
friends.
front of you,
You're
or
still friends. So
right,
Yeah.
right,
And you had brunch. So there you go.
yeah,
Yeah.
You're right. That it does
that's
happen.
a
And
true friend.
that is a true friend. They
Yeah.
waited for 2 years to have brunch with you, and look at what happened.
To be fair, we were not friends yet.
Okay, now
It was
you are.
like when we, yeah, Yeah,
Because
now
you're
we're
friends
cool.
now.
I will tell you I have had plenty of experiences with professional or people in our industry who I have reached out to for many different things, and they were like quick to answer so fast, like, and there was no money involved and no paid anything on their behalf. Like they weren't getting any monetary benefit from it at all, other than just being genuinely nice. So, I was just touching on that one little like ew factor of something, but you're right. You're right. People, it could be, yeah, I'm just
Or
gonna
they
give that
hate,
person
or
some
they just
grace.
hate you.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, thanks, Ken. Thank you so much. Now I'm gonna think about that for the whole night.
I mean,
was
look,
And
Jaws
3 days from now.
I love you, Jaws, but you've messaged me.
No.
I don't.
You.
I'm not
Oh,
good at responding.
okay. It's not you. Just so everybody,
It's
let's be
not
clear.
me.
It's not.
Is it me?
I'm just,
No. He was
I
not
just,
the industry person that didn't message me back. It wasn't Lloyd, but yes, Lloyd, you are a culprit of that.
yeah. There's a can behind you, by the way.
Me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see myself. So like now it's
Oh
like
yeah,
freaking me
somebody
out.
was trying to get your attention.
Okay. Anyways, hold on one second. Hold on.
Oh.
Oh,
Hi, Terrance.
Hi,
Hi,
Terrance.
Terrence.
Hi,
Loki.
Terrance. Big
Hello.
T is in the
How's it
Hello.
going?
house.
How's everybody doing?
We're
Doing all
so
right.
Super.
good.
How are
All
you?
right.
I'm good.
I
A
was
little
reading.
tired, but
I feel that.
Well, you're a new dad, so like you're gonna be tired
Yeah.
all the time.
yeah, sorry.
I love it. We were just talking about different things in the industry, and but I think we're good. So Tall, Dark, and Hilarious is here with us. I'm
I love
so
it.
I know, I love it too. I love when you sent that.
How tall is Terrance?
Right? When wait before you answer that, I just have to preface. I met Terrance online at the Voice Actor Studio, like all of
Me
you.
too.
We all met, and then I went to a party at the Voice Actor Studio in person, and I remember you walked up to me. And it's so surreal because it's like you see everybody in these like little pictures, right? In these little boxes. And you said hello, and I recognized the voice, and then I'm like, you're like looking up, and you didn't.
Okay. How tall are you, Jaws?
I'm like 5'7". I know.
Okay. I'm 5.
5 foot flat. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I was like 5.5 after I had my back surgery because I went
That's-
from crooked to straight.
God. Terrance, you're
But let's-
so tall. How tall are you?
I think the last time I checked, it was